The 10th Amendment to the United States Constitution is one of the most significant provisions for defining the balance of power between the federal government and the states. Ratified on December 15, 1791, as part of the Bill of Rights, it was a response to fears that the newly formed federal government might overstep its authority and encroach on state sovereignty. The amendment explicitly states that any powers not delegated to the federal government nor prohibited to the states by the Constitution are reserved to the states or the people. This language was crafted to reassure anti-federalists who were deeply concerned that the new Constitution granted excessive power to the federal government at the expense of the states. Figures like Thomas Jefferson and Patrick Henry argued that without clear limitations, the federal government could become oppressive. The 10th Amendment was a direct response to these concerns, reinforcing the principle of federalism and ensuring that states retain significant autonomy. Despite its straightforward wording, the 10th Amendment has been at the center of legal and political debates since its ratification. While some viewed it as a strict limitation on federal authority, others saw it as merely a restatement of the Constitution's structure. The Supreme Court has played a crucial role in interpreting its meaning, often in response to shifting political and social landscapes. One of the earliest challenges to the amendment's reach came during the McCulloch v. Maryland 1819 case. The Supreme Court, under Chief Justice John Marshall, ruled that the federal government had implied powers under the necessary and proper clause, allowing it to create a national bank, even though that power was not explicitly granted in the Constitution. This decision significantly curtailed the 10th Amendment's ability to limit federal authority. Throughout the 19th and early 20th centuries, the 10th Amendment was frequently invoked in battles over states' rights, particularly regarding issues like slavery, segregation, and economic regulation. The Civil War was perhaps the most extreme test of the concept, as Southern states asserted their right to secede from the Union, citing their sovereignty under the 10th Amendment. However, the war's outcome firmly established federal supremacy over such matters. During the early 20th century, the amendment gained renewed attention as the federal government expanded its role in economic regulation and social policy. The New Deal era saw significant federal intervention in areas traditionally controlled by states, such as labor laws, welfare programs, and economic relief. Opponents of these expansions argued that they violated the 10th Amendment, but the Supreme Court often upheld federal power, particularly in cases like United States v. Darby, 1941, which declared that the 10th Amendment was merely a truism, reaffirming federalism but not restricting federal authority. The amendment made a comeback in the latter half of the 20th century as a foundation for arguments against federal overreach. In the civil rights movement, Southern states attempted to use the 10th Amendment to resist federal desegregation orders, though the courts largely rejected these arguments. In more recent decades, conservative legal scholars and politicians have invoked the amendment to challenge federal mandates on issues like gun control, environmental regulations, and healthcare policy. Perhaps the most notable modern case involving the 10th Amendment was Prince v. United States, 1997, in which the Supreme Court ruled that the federal government could not compel state officials to enforce federal laws, reinforcing the amendment's role in limiting federal power. This decision was seen as a victory for states' rights advocates who argue that Washington's authority should have clear and defined limits. Today, debates over the 10th Amendment continue in areas such as marijuana legalization, immigration enforcement, and election laws. Some argue that the federal government has overstepped its bounds, while others believe that national oversight is necessary for a unified country. Regardless of where one stands, the 10th Amendment remains a crucial part of the American legal and political framework, ensuring that the debate over state versus federal power never truly ends.